This was Concord, New Hampshire yesterday at the state capitol. We the people say no ice in Merrimack. No ice in Merrimack. Also, good people never built concentration camps. This is a protest over the weekend against a Trump prison camp that they're trying to build in Merrimack, about a half hour south of the state capital in New Hampshire. Amid all the pushback they're seeing against this in the state, the Trump administration sent over to the New Hampshire state government some reading material all about how actually nobody should oppose this. This is going to be great for the people of New Hampshire. What they sent over said, quote, the Department of Homeland Security plans to make a major economic investment in a new detention facility in Merrimack, New Hampshire. They didn't dot the I in Merrimack with a smiley face, but it kind of seemed like they were trying to. They brag about how the camp will, this prison camp will bring a ton of jobs to the state, to New Hampshire. They write about all the positive ripple effects this Trump prison camp will have on the, quote, Oklahoma economy. Wait a minute. This new prison camp in southern New Hampshire is going to be a boon for the great people of Oklahoma? Why does it say that? On the document they sent to the state government in New Hampshire to try to get them all psyched about this Trump prison camp, they not only placed Merrimack, New Hampshire somehow in Oklahoma, they also forgot to remove the comments, the internal comments ICE officials sent back and forth among themselves when they were putting this thing together. After people started pointing out what a mess this thing was, the White House apparently sent over to New Hampshire a revised copy of the same document, and it at least had some corrections. It had the right state name on it. That's nice. They also got rid of the internal comments from Homeland Security officials, but it was still filled with other mistakes. The document brags about how this Trump prison camp is going to bring millions of dollars to New Hampshire by way of state income taxes and state sales taxes, despite the fact that New Hampshire does not have either of those taxes. The document also references all the tax benefit that's going to flow to the county government in New Hampshire, despite the fact that the New Hampshire government doesn't work that way. It's not a county government, it's a town government. What are you talking about? But as much of an embarrassment as this is for the Trump administration, which apparently can't even spell New Hampshire, let alone lie to it with a straight face, the person for whom this has become a real political debacle turns out to be the New Hampshire governor, because she is a Republican. Her name is Kelly Ayotte, and she has botched this thing in about 30 different ways. When the ACLU published documents earlier this year showing that the Trump administration had talked to at least some officials in New Hampshire about this forthcoming prison camp, Governor Ayotte said, well, she didn't know anything about it. She blamed a state agency under her purview for failing to tell her about these discussions. That ultimately led to the resignation of one of her cabinet officials. The governor said she had tried to get the Trump administration to answer questions about their plans for this prison camp at Merrimack, but they wouldn't answer her. That became a problem for Governor Ayotte when the head of ICE was asked about it at a Senate hearing a few days ago. He not only confirmed that the Merrimack Trump prison camp was a go, he said his agency had specifically spoken with Governor Ayotte about it. They talked to her personally. He said, quote, DHS has worked with Governor Ayotte. We've spoken to the governor about the facility. Governor Ayotte immediately denied that was true. She once again claimed that she had no idea what any of this was about. She said the Trump administration had sent her no details about their plans for Merrimack, which is why the White House promptly sent over those typo-riddled plans for the prison in her state and how great they'd be for Oklahoma. Meanwhile, as we've seen everywhere ICE wants to put one of these prison camps, the pressure against doing any such thing is growing and growing. Voters in New Hampshire, local residents continue to protest it. New Hampshire's entire congressional delegation, both the Senate and the House, is demanding answers about it. Even the governor next door in Massachusetts has called on Kelly Ayotte to oppose it. For her part, Governor Ayotte won't say whether she's for it or against it. She's just proclaiming to be profoundly confused, which is getting to be a political catastrophe for Kelly Ayotte as the people of New Hampshire stand up against this thing. This is a headline from the Concord Monitor out of New Hampshire. Quote, if the governor truly did not know about the ICE prison being built in her state, then New Hampshire has a governor who is not paying attention to critical developments. If she did know and chose not to engage publicly, that is even worse. Either way, the result is the same, a failure of leadership at a moment when clarity and accountability are essential. That very tough wording in an op-ed from New Hampshire State Rep Wendy Thomas, who represents the town of Merrimack, where ICE wants to turn a warehouse into a huge Trump prison camp.